Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akim, your brother Raza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Blessings unto the hopeful and sincere elect. It's a quick one. I've seen this on the comment feed earlier on. Brother Shapar of the 12 Bar channel. And the time of judgment is out here, man. You know, as the brothers quoted down here in Ecclesiastes 39 and 28 from Ashbar 144, you know, there be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, and in the time of their destruction they pour out their vengeance, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And that's talking about Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai having spirits out there from these death angels, from wild animals, so on and so forth, all of his creation basically that you can use to bring forth judgment upon the wicked, especially 2/3 of our people, which is going to be happening in these last days. And this is in regards to this article I see here, head title, Criminal Court After Cutting Off 37 Man Buns. I'm going to show you what a man bun looks like in a minute. Straight up atrocious. It says in one day, it says claiming he was doing the Lord's work. And he was. Now this guy looks like a straight up Edomite. But who knows, man? He could be an Israelite foreigner, man. Just that covered in that white gloss, so to speak. Looks like a so-called white man, but you know, he could be melanated on the insides, so to speak. Basically, just be an Israelite foreigner that looks like one of the heathen. But either way, he did do the Lord's work, like the brother Shapar said in the heading in his comment. He says, "Well, he was cut your hair, because a man's not supposed to have long ass hair, man." And the judgment's coming, man. If you insubordinates out there, you know, you contentious folk that just wanna have the long hair, the Greekish fashion, so to speak, man. You know, in these last days, that's gonna be held against you, man, in the court of law by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the angels and his prophets, man. And you gonna lose, man, because the Lord said it's a shameful thing for a man to have long hair, because you look like a fucking gal. Excuse my French, but this is the pictures here showing you what a man bun looks like. And it's funny because I was just on the train home and I saw this guy look just like this Jake here, but he was a bit more fairer, but he had a big ass man bun on the top of his head as well. And I was looking at him, I was just thinking like, that shit looks effeminate as hell, man. The Lord's gonna kill these niggas out here with this effeminate spirit, man, because this is not making it into the kingdom of heaven. It tells you in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, men that have that effeminate spirit, they're not going to make it into the kingdom. And you having a man bun in your head shows that you got an effeminate spirit, man. You know, you want to rock the Greekish fashion. Well, the Lord's not with it, man, because that's part of the heathens' customs, to rock man buns in your damn head. You know? So look at this shit here. This is Esau Edom. You know, Esau is a freak of nature. That's why I would do some wild shit like this and think it's normal, man, because Esau's a freak. Spirit that's in him is not upright. But this is an abomination right here. But this is modern day Greece, Greco-Rome, aka America, Babylon the Great. This is the modern day fashion, the Greekish fashion that these Jakes are following, like they did in the ancient world. And you got another Jake here with the same man bun. Like, it just makes you look effeminate as hell. Look at this, man. This guy looks like a damn woman with a beard on his face. Crazy. But this is what happens when you trust in Esau Edom and his wickedness. You want to be a Roman citizen, do as the Romans do, so to speak, and you turn away from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, you get left with these them spirits, man. You know, them spirits on the left hand side start fucking with you, man. So the Lord said, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, because they'll destroy you, man. They'll corrupt you." So anyway, yeah, as I said, this guy could be a Jake who just looks like an Edomite, or he could just be a straight up Edomite, and the Lord used him to, you know, punish the wicked, and probably 2/3, that's part of the 2/3, and whoever else's hair that he cut off, man buns that he cut off, I'm sure a few of them were Jakes, you know, and that was the judgment of the Lord, and there's more to come, man, because as I said, the Lord can use anyone and anything to bring forth that judgment, because, you know, everything's at his disposal, because he created it. So this is 1 Corinthians 11, straight to the point, verse 14. It says, "Doth not nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?" And this was going on where? In Corinth, Greece. This is one of the books of the Apostle Paul that he wrote to the Israelites that was in Corinth, Greece. So they was following that Greekish fashion. And part of that Greek fashion is having a man having long ass hair, which is an abomination to the Lord, man. Read verse 14 again. It says, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? It says, but if a woman have long hair, it is the glory to her. It is a glory to her, for her hair is given on her for a covering. Yeah, so if a man have long hair, it's a shame unto him, man. It's abominable, you know. And you have them spirits fucking with you, man. Because all the shit that you got to do to maintain that long ass hair, it turns you into an effeminate. You have effeminate spirits on you, man. You start moving like a gal, you know. You want to stroke your hair every 2 seconds and all this other shit. That shit is effeminate, man. A man's supposed to be rough and rugged. He ain't supposed to be worrying about the damn man bun in your top of your damn head. Look like a big full stop on the top of your damn head. You know, a man's just supposed to just rock his afro, or, you know, a low Caesar, whatever it is, but as long as it's not bald, and maintain your beard on your face, you know. Verse 16, it says, but if any man seem to be contentious, which you got a lot of contentious jakes even today, you know, in Israel and outside of Israel, being of the world, but even within Israel, you got guys that want to rock the long haired, the long ass plaits and dreadlocks and, you know, the jerry curls with the juice dripping, you know, and then they wear their hats as well. Just totally contentious, man. It says, but if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of the Most High. Yes, you're not part of the elect, basically. If you're running around with man buns in your head and all that, you better cut that shit off, because you're basically showing yourself to be not a man of the Lord. I'm talking about Jake that's within Israel, man. And the Lord said to be wary of them that's of the circumcision more than Jakes of the world, because they don't know no better. They're just of the world. The Jakes that's in this truth, and they're rocking man buns and long ass plaits and all these other shit, you know, dreadlocks and all that. You need to cut that shit off, man. You know, that shit is effeminate, man. And the Lord said we have no such custom. Neither the churches of the Most High. So the elect ain't going to be rocking no man buns, man. They ain't going to have that spirit of rocking a man bun in their head. The last precept here, and this goes back to the Greekish fashion, as I said, you know, going back to the Maccabees, the second Maccabees 4, and I'll start from verse 7, it says, but after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, that devil, took the kingdom, Jason, a wicked-ass Israelite, the brother of Onus, laboured underhand to be the high priest. And you got a guy in Israel right now that calls himself the high priest, and he's rocking that Greekish fashion as we speak, constantly wearing hats and has that long-ass jerry curl dripping with juice, and he calls himself the high priest of Israel. You know, I'll leave a clue for the Akim to figure out who I'm talking about. But, you know, I'm going to carry on. Verse 8, it says, promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and another revenue 8 talents. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more. It says, if he might have a license to set him up a place of exercise, which is definitely part of that Greekish fashion, going to the gymnos, which means to be naked, going back to all that Olympian type activity, sports and entertainment, so to speak, that Greekish Roman Empire type sports, you know, as they celebrate today. It's all idolatry, man. It all goes back to the heathen, you know. It goes back to the heathen, and it's basically heathenistic acts. It says, and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen. And this is what's going on. They're training up the youth in the fashions of the heathen, like to even modern day today. You see it, man, with the whole alphabet situation going on. And, you know, what Jake's into, you know, all these different universities, the fraternities and all that. You know, that Greekish type fashion, that's running rampant in society today. And it's the fashion of the heathen. It says, and to write them of Jerusalem, Yarushalayim, by the name of the Antiochians. So these guys that are running around with man buns on their head, they're basically a bunch of Antiochians, man. They're part of the Greek. They're part of the Greco or the Greekish fashion, man. You know, that's what they're representing, the Antiochians, man. So you got a lot of Hellenistic, heathenistic jakes that are, under that Hellenistic westernization, man, modern day today, you know, and they're not gonna make it, man, unless they repent and come out of that abominable spirit that's seducing them right now. But if they carry on in the fashion of the heathen, in the spirit of the Antiochians, they're not gonna make it, man. On this side, they're gonna be destroyed when all hell breaks loose and the nuclear fire sets in, man. So verse 10, it says, which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into in his hand the rule of forthwith, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashion. So and this is Corinthians, the book of Corinthians is dedicated to the Jakes, Israelites that is in that Greekish state of mind. In Corinth, Greece, which is part of the Greek, the Greeks that was later, turned, followed down to the Romans. But Jake was living in those different islands, so to speak, Asia Minor and Asia Major. So they was following that Greekish fashion, from the Greeks to the Roman Empire, man. So this is what the Lord was talking about, man, about the Jakes that were in that heathenistic mind state, had to come back to their nationality of being Israelites, man. They had to be converted back into this truth, from that heathenistic Hellenic type mind state, or wearing togas or wherever it was, or rocking man buns or running around naked in the gym, or rocking man buns, as I said, having that long ass hair. This is what the Apostle Paul was getting on them Jakes for, man, because they was following that Greekish fashion. So the Lord's definitely not with it, man. And in verse 12, it talks about the men wearing the hats. It says, for he built gladly a place of exercise, going to the gymnos again, the gymnasium. It says under the tower itself, and then later on in the Roman Empire they had the Colosseums, right? Gladiatorial sports and all of that. It says, and brought the chief young men under his subjection. So this is why they're always trying to focus on the youth, because they're easily subdued, they're easily manipulated. It says the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear hats. So when you wear a hat, that's part of the Greekish fashion, man. A man's not supposed to cover his damn head. That's in the 1 Corinthians 11. A man's not supposed to cover his damn head, man. So verse 13 says, now such was the height of the Greek fashions and increase of the heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest. So once again, they mentioned Jason, man. That high priest, that wicked ass high priest that was down with, making Jake follow the Greekish fashion, which you got Jakes in Israel doing that today. They're influencing Jake to cover their heads with damn caps while they're at camp, supposed to be prophesying with your head uncovered. But they're telling Jakes you can cover your head and prophesy, which is wickedness. That's wickedness in the eyes of the Lord. And then they also got that long ass hair. So, need I say any more, man? But this is what the Lord is going to start doing, pouring out more judgment upon these Greekish fashionist type Negroes and the gets out here, man, that don't want to change their ways, don't want to mend their ways. Anyway, with that, I want to close out, give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect. Shalom.